In WNBA history, Eric Tebow and Marianne Stanley are his assistants. And we're underway from Bankers Live Fieldhouse. The Washington Mystics, who are 9-2. The games that they've had, Elena Delle Donne with them for the entirety of it. She comes back after essentially missing 3. Atkins misses a 3 to open the game for Washington. And here's your first look at Delle Donne sporting that mask. Delle Donne also with a brace on her left knee, goes to work over Dupree, off the mark, and Wheeler has the rebound.
And that's the kind of shot that the Indiana Fever will give up to Delle Donne, fading away from the basket. But the Washington Mystics are a very good unit. They space the floor extremely well.
The Mystics are #1 in the league in offense, the only team that's ahead of Indiana, who's #2 in the league in that category. Here's Laney, sidesteps the defender, Candice Dupree on the move on Delle Donne. We see the All-Stars go at each other on the first possession, and defense wins it each.
It's the matchup we've been wanting to see tonight. We were hoping that Delle Donne would be playing tonight. Becky Chapman wanting the Fever to push the ball up the floor.
Indiana's lost 3 in a row, 7 of their last 8. After starting the year 5-5. Wheeler around, Betnijah Laney a corner 3. He's been shooting it better from out there lately at 40% over her last 6.
That's a good shot for Betnijah, and the ball went from one side of the floor to the other, moved through hands. Coaches won't be too happy with that.
Tolliver works it out. The long 2 is good. And Washington on the board.
Latoya Sanders, she's been having a great season with the Washington Mystics, and is a great defender as she nearly got a deflection on that pass.
7th-year pro out of North Carolina. Wheeler steps into a long 2. That won't go. Fever are 0 of 3 from the floor here early.
Looking at the statistics of both these two teams, they're very evenly matched.
Delle Donne got Laney on the switch, and she finished inside for her first 2. She had really been rolling before that injury, which was a nasal fracture. She got hurt very early in their game against the Sparks, and not coincidentally, they lost that game. The following 2, they did not have her. Delle Donne, though, is averaging 23 points and 10 rebounds over the 4 games before she got hurt.
Well, she's very long and athletic, and if you have Betnijah matched up against her, there needs to be help defense.
Erica Wheeler earned her first All-Star appearance a couple of days ago, although totally she's gone into maybe a slight slump over these past few games at the Fieldhouse. Indiana trying to get her triggered in a little early in this one.
You see a foul called.
And it was on Elena Delle Donne, so this will be a technical free throw.
Going back to Erica Wheeler, sometimes when you try a little too hard, it can also work against you. So I think we've had the Indiana Fever have had a couple of really good practices this week, and she's feeling a lot more relaxed coming into the game today.
So Mike Tebow there, the Washington head coach. His son, that's Eric, to his right. He's also got a daughter who coaches for the University of Minnesota. And quickly, Dupree's open. Oh, Dupree rarely will miss from there, but Wheeler pulled down the rebound. Achanwa on the fake, right at Delle Donne with a left hand.
Well, great execution from the out-of-bounds play. Open shot for Candice Dupree, but Natalie Achanwa has been one of the most consistent Indiana Fever players this season.
Atkins lofts it in for Sanders, who finishes on the right side of the glass. Toya Sanders has 4 early points for Washington. Mystics shoot it at 45% on the season. That's best in the league, as Mitchell responding to the basket. Nice late contest there from Sanders.
I totally thought she was out of the play just then.
Delle Donne on the pull-up. Well, you see that mask, and it can affect players differently. Some put it on, and they don't really notice it. As Erica Wheeler gets on the board for the Fever. Others, it takes some time. Did you ever have to wear it?
I have not, but one of my former teammates, you might know her, Sue Bird.
Ah, yes.
She wore the mask during our finals in 2004. So, not personally, but getting used to breathing with that on your face and sweating would be very difficult.
That straightaway 3 off the mark from Natasha Cloud.
Great screen set by Dupree has caused the switch there of defenders. She's going to take Cloud on.
Oh, what a move from Candice Dupree. And Dupree, who had about a 24-hour stretch where she passes Lisa Leslie and then makes an all-star game. She joked it was one of the best 24 hours of her life, her career. Who could blame her? She's accomplished so much, yet that was a lot in a short time frame. And she even admitted she was a little surprised to get the all-star nod.
Well, when you take that title from an icon like Lisa Leslie, you got all right to celebrate.
Mitchell on the fake. She'll try it again. Mitchell's 0 for 2 here early, but Achanwa cleans up.
Kelsey Mitchell just rushing that shot then. She could have taken a little extra time to get her balance. Didn't realize how open she was.
You like her tenacity to get to the basket. She just has not finished yet. But as her game has evolved, you start to see her get more comfortable in that area.
Good ball movement there by Washington. As you can see, when you have Deladon and Tolliver out there together, defenses are loaded over to protect the paint, to protect the outside shot, but it's going to leave someone else open on the other side.
Wheeler springs feet. She'll fire a three. That won't go. Deladon has the rebound. Erica Wheeler, who enters the night at 40% from the three-point line. Another aspect of her game that's really been on an upswing this year as Deladon straight away, and she cashes in.
Sanders setting a good screen then on Candice. She couldn't get around, and coaches won't be happy with Deladon getting a wide open shot out there. That's one of her chances.
Wheeler looking for Dupree. Tolliver on the mismatch, and Achanwa threw it away as Laney cut to the corner. The Mystics with an early three-point lead from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We want to try to gauge the value of Elena Deladon in games where Washington has had her through their entirety. 9-2 this year when she has not played and finished the game. They are 0-4 without her.
Right now she has 5 of those 12 points. As we see Miesemann on the floor now, and she is a great pickup from Belgium. Has been away with the Belgium national team.
Miesemann in just her 5th game here this season. Atkins the long two. That's off the mark. Tierra McCowan's checked in as well. And McCowan, who's rebounding at a rate as well as anybody in the league, has her first tonight. Kelsey Mitchell looking to get going. Here's Laney stepping into a 2.
This pace of the game has picked up, and if you look at the statistics, these are the top 2 teams offensively and efficiency who play at a high rate.
Deladon well off the mark there, and Candice Dupree brings down the rebound. Washington is first in offense, first in field goal percentage, first in free throw percentage. They average over 20 assists per game. It's a well-oiled machine when they've got all their parts to it. Laney charging hard, gets inside, and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, that's a great strong hard drive by Betnijah Laney. As you can see there, she was going all the way to the basket. Looking at statistics again, the Indiana Fever are #1 in mid-range, in the mid-range game. And going from their last game, they were 0 from 16 from the three-point line. And so what the Indiana Fever need to do is establish their inside game first and then try and knock down those open shots from beyond the arc.
Betnijah Laney in her 4th season as a pro has found her first real opportunity to get regular playing time. She scored more this season than in any other year as a pro already, and she accomplished that by the midway point of this year. Started every game for Indiana this season, and she's a threat on that end of the floor.
And she sets the tone defensively for the Indiana Fever, and she'll generally have the toughest opponent on the floor.
There is Emma Miesemann finishing with her first 2. Laney's been aggressive here so far. Hands off Candice Dupree. Indiana's opened up 4 of 14 from the floor. That's 29%. Miesemann plays catch. Here's Tolliver in the corner.
And that's like a layup for Kristi Tolliver. You can't give her too much space, but that came about by the cut by Miesemann into the paint, just recognizing where her teammates are.
Tolliver named to her 4th All-Star game. He's made it back-to-back seasons, and an offensive foul, a moving screen on Tiara McCowan.
The referee's judging that Tiara wasn't set on that screen. As we see the replay, it was a little too hard to tell on that replay. It was pretty close.
That's part of the adjustment for her. This is a lot and a big change going from the college level to the professional level at her position where there are so many stars. And you see that part of the game's one of the many parts that are still evolving for her.
Definitely. And, just adjusting to having to defend outside of the keyway. Now she's defending against 5 players who shoot the 3, step back 3. Jonquel Jones, Elena Deladon when she moves to the 5 position. The Fever have to look inside to Tiara when she's in. She is presenting herself. They've got to find her.
Here is McCowan with the shot clock down to 7. She'll fire over Meesman.
And this sometimes can be the frustration when you don't get the ball into the post. When they are available, that can result in a frustrated shot.
Nice play by Natalie Achanwa to tip it away. Johnson in transition going at Aerial Powers. Johnson left it short. Now a real late whistle comes in. They got a foul on Powers.
It was like Shanice went up for the layup, looked at Roy and was like, hey, where's my foul? He was like, okay, you got it. But it was because Shanice took it hard to the basket, it made the referee had to make a decision.
Johnson 6 of 7 from the free throw line, now 7 of 8 this year. One of the league's better free throw shooters. Johnson's coming off her worst game of the season after an 0 of 7 night last Sunday, but before that had played her best 2 games. So she had 20 points over a 2-game span earlier in that week. And she started to look, you see her every day in practice, but to me she's starting to look more like that shifty Shanice Johnson we're used to.
With the more games she's getting under her belt now, the more minutes she's playing, you can see the Shanice coming back. That we're used to seeing.
Tolliver playing catch there. Those two, Meesman, you really have to be impressed with how unselfish she is with the ball.
She is one of the best team players out there. She knows her role. As we see a double dribble being called on Tiffany as she tried to take the baseline there.
It'd be interesting to have some sort of advanced metric on Meesman in terms of how long she holds the ball, because you see how quickly she moves it. I mean, there are times where it really only hits her second hand for a split second and it's already gone.
This is a very tough team to scout. They've got so many weapons. And you see Meesman taking it all the way from the top there.
Well, what a start for Emma Meesman. They'll check on the clock here. Meesman is 3 for 3. She's shown it off with an array of moves, that time getting past Natalie Achanwa. You have to respect her jump shot too, which you saw the Achanwa close out. The Mystics now have their largest lead of the first.
The Fever looking to get a good offensive set here.
Wheeler from the corner, and that one rolls in. Erica Wheeler.
A good look for E-Dub in the corner there. And going back to, the Indiana Fever have to work as a unit defensively. Not one player is just defending Christy Tolliver. It's all of them. Everybody needs to know where they are on the floor.
Shot clock and game clock essentially even. Tolliver bounces back. Meesman had to go around Wheeler, and they'll get a foul on Erica. That's actually just the first foul the Fever have been called on here in the game, so that's really not problematic at all.
And she was so close. I mean, even I, as a player, would have gone for that one. It was kind of out there. The bounce pass was high.
And you got a foul to give.
Correct.
Meesman on McCowan, dips in, left it too long, and that'll take us through the first. The Mystics with their largest lead. It's 8 points through one quarter from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The second when we return. Mystics lead the Fever by 6 after 1. Emma Miesemann, who's missed most of the season playing with the Belgian national team, coming back just in time for Mike Thibault's group.
Well, in 4 minutes, she's come out and hit 6 points to lead all scorers out there on the floor right now. Erica Wheeler's had a good start for the Indiana Fever with 5 points. Kelsey Mitchell, who is not on the floor right now, has yet to score.
Kelsey Mitchell, who's had most of her best games this season at home, coming off a 14-point performance. Backcourt duo of Mitchell, Wheeler, has had its moments, but in general, in a bit of a slump since the Fever have returned home. Here's Johnson, that's a long 2. And Indiana is now under 30% on the evening. Washington right at 50% from the floor.
Washington defense staying pretty solid there, not allowing any middle penetration or pass into the post there. So the Fever had to settle for that outside shot.
Neesmith spots free, that jump shot short. Fever looking to pick up that pace. They're 10th in the league in pace, but you wouldn't know it by watching Koki Chapman, who's always on her team, to play quicker. Here's Johnson, she rolls it in.
Hey, the Fever will take that roll anytime, but that's a great penetration. Kicking it out to the wide open Johnson.
Walker Kimbrough, she's got an answer.
And that one's like a dagger. You know, straight after you've scored, you go down and you give up a 3-point shot.
Tiffany Mitchell, awkward looking jump shot, but she gets it to go. Indiana's come in, hit 2 of their first 3 shots in the second quarter. Walker Kimbrough, she's got another, so 5 quick ones for Shatori Walker Kimbrough, who can heat up in a hurry off the bench. She averages 8 points per game, the number 6 overall pick in the 2017 draft.
She's feeling confident now after knocking down those 2 shots. She's a very quick guard, brings extra energy off the bench. As we see, it takes a lot to knock Tierra over. But as Nada Chama knocked down that elbow shot,
that's way off the mark from Tiana Hawkins. Indiana consciously trying to get it inside to McCowan, something they've not been able to do yet. Achanwa on the fake. Wheeler's open from the corner. Hawkins running the floor. Achanwa contests and Tiana Hawkins finishes.
Natasha Cloud, what a great heads-up pass there. And at all times, they're just looking to push the ball up the floor. And transition defense is one of the areas that the Indiana Fever has focused on a lot recently.
Mitchell sent it back for Achanwa over the head of her center, and they'll call a foul on the floor. And a technical foul will come on Walker Kimbrough after it. So they catch Shatori Walker Kimbrough on the foul and the technical. They say it was contact to the face. Isaac Barnett, the official, making that determination. Here's another look. You saw Achanwa immediately.
You definitely saw the contact there. But,
I think Walker Kimbrough felt like both players got each other on the face. So Mitchell hits the technical free throw. And Indiana will keep possession. Erica Wheeler, Shanice Johnson, Tierra McCowan all checking out. And there you see the contact to the chin of Achanwa. And as Achanwa on the follow-through, she does get her in the face, but the first foul is correct there. Mitchell, she spots open. That won't go. Burke tried to volleyball it in on a second effort. Gets that lay-in to go.
That's a great way to start off as soon as you come in off the bench, but going what the referees are pretty much calling now is any contact to the face as a foul.
Oftentimes we have to notice Mitchell's a little slow to get up. That we get to see these things in slow motion, the officials don't. I think if anything, that replay there backed up Isaac Barnett's claim. Natasha Cloud is heading to the line as we keep an eye on Kelsey Mitchell, slow to get up, looking okay at the moment. Cloud misses the first. This Washington team, 86% from the three-point line. If they were to finish where they are right now, it'd be a WNBA record for a team from the free throw line.
Cloud shooting around 81% before that miss. So she won't be too happy of missing both of those.
Washington has 8 players that shoot it at 80% or better. Mitchell, she'll pull up again. She's got it again.
Great set there. The Indiana Fever looking more dynamic here on their plays. They're cutting through hard, running to set the screen, which is getting players open.
Powers will launch from the corner. She's got it in the foul. Every time Indiana started to get something going here in the second quarter, the Mystics have had an answer. And what a find there by Tolliver.
That was a great cross-court pass, and Nana Chum was haste to get out there to contest the shot. Just unfortunately made the contact.
This is something we've seen more emphasis given to as Powers hits the free throw, leaving room to land. It's a player safety issue. Saw it really highlighted a couple of NBA seasons ago when Kawhi Leonard was still in San Antonio and taken out on a play where Zaza Pachulia didn't give him room to land.
It's a tough shot there by Kelsey Mitchell with Elena Deladon with a hand up in front of your face.
Mitchell 0 for 4. Here's Tiffany. Kelsey on the fake. Kelsey found some space and knocks it down.
And that's the better shot to take. Wide open, mid-range, where the Fever are. Let me say once again, #1 in the league right now.
And Washington turns it over. This is their 3rd turnover of the night. Indiana clawing back within 4 from Bankers Line Fieldhouse. Let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. The Seattle Storm visit the Las Vegas Aces. Speaking of Las Vegas, Saturday, July 27th, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Catch the AT&T WNBA All-Star Game from Vegas. More on these games, please visit WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. We've got 4 players in this game that will be headed to Vegas for the All-Star Game. 3 are returners. Erica Wheeler will be making her first appearance. And how excited she is after not being drafted. Just the 5th undrafted free agent to make the All-Star Game.
When you talk and you hear about blue-collar workers, Erica Wheeler comes to mind, and all that hard work has paid off for her.
You have to wonder sometimes if her personality is such a big part of that. She's so energetic.
You know, she's got a big heart. You know, if there's anything I would say to Erica Wheeler at times would be is to don't be too hard on yourself.
Mitchell, oh, what a move on the baseline, and Mitchell gets the roll.
Kelsey Mitchell, maybe that'll get her going. She's made the jump shot. She's got the reverse layup.
Washington looking back the way of their MVP. Deladon got it knocked away. Nice play by Mitchell inside, and Deladon comes up holding that nose, which has the mask on it. Mitchell left it back for Achanwa, who thought she was shooting. Natasha Cloud taking it coast to coast. That layup is long.
This is a fast-paced game right now. Both teams running the ball up and down the floor.
Tiffany Mitchell looking for Achanwa. Indiana has back-to-back turnovers, looking the direction of their center.
You see Kelsey Mitchell redirecting the defense there and catching her on the reverse back to the baseline drive as we see Erica McCall just replaying to all the fans out there what happened.
Yeah, that was a nice imitation.
It was. And just talking about Erica McCall, what an experience this season, or during the season, being out there on stage with Carrie Underwood.
Deladon on the other end off the mark. Erica McCall coming in and singing with Carrie Underwood for a song while Underwood was here in concert a few weeks ago. That ball finds its way to Achanwa. Achanwa had it blocked by Deladon.
this is sometimes what the Fever can fall into is back-to-back turnovers. He goes, look after that ball.
Indiana with a bucket here could tie the game or even take the lead.
Shot clock down to 7 seconds.
Mitchell looking for space. Off to Dupree. She'll fake it. Dupree has to work on Deladon. That left-hand shot is short. A nice job to get off a decent look. Atkins will pull up from 3. She's dangerous from out there. Sanders with the rebound and the putback.
Well, there might be a timeout coming shortly. Pokey Chapman wouldn't be happy right now with the turnovers, the lack of boxing out.
Almost like you're on this coaching staff.
It's a good guess.
Washington Mystics in front of the Indiana Fever by 4 as we close in on halftime. Little guy eagerly awaiting the second quarter to come to a close. The Fever return to action at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Wednesday, July 31st when they host the Atlanta Dream. Check out seating options. Grab your tickets, feverbasketball.com/tickets. They get it into McCowan, and McCowan immediately fouled. Indiana had been trying to get it into their rookie center for most of that first half when she was on the floor. Credit Pokey Chapman calling a timeout and getting it done there.
Well, that was a great play to come out of the timeout. And Tierra is so strong. And so when she's out there, you do need to look for her in her limited minutes when she's on the floor. What you might give up in transition, you're going to get with dominance in the paint.
This part of her game, I think she's still coming down to the level of the WNBA. Talking about the free throw line, where she was 77% her senior year, 63% in her rookie season. Knocks the 2 down there. That's just a comfortability thing.
And Coach Christy Sides is working with her every single day on free throws. Don't worry, there's not a day that she does not put an extra 50 up after or sometimes before practice.
Deladon on the fake, the pull-up, and Deladon has 2 more. That'll give her 7.
Well, one of Elena's favorite moves is to go left. So that's a comfortable move into her jump shot.
Dupree had it poked away. Nice play from behind by Tolliver. They'll say there was contact there, too. Dupree comes up holding her face. Barnett making a pretty significant call there because Washington was out and running. And, yeah, you see.
Definite contact there. And when Candace gets a mismatch like that, she's going to take her time. She's going to have the floor spaced. Christy Tolliver has been pretty quiet up to date. She's only taken 2 shots. That can either be a good thing or a bad thing.
Wheeler spinning on Tolliver. The step back. Erica Wheeler way off the mark.
Pushing the ball, pushing the tempo of the game.
And he stayed right with her. Beesman got McCowan into the air.
2 minutes to play in the half. 2 minutes.
Fever offense has found its footing a bit here in the second quarter, already with 17 points after a 15-point first. Cowan and Laney play catch. Shot clock down to 7.
Tierra working hard down low. And even if she doesn't have a play herself, what she's doing is drawing the defense down and opening up the perimeter for either the open shot or, as you can see, the mid-range jump shot.
Cowan's such a physical player. She demands so much of opposing defenses, even when she doesn't have the ball there in the post.
Beesman just getting away with a travel there, switching the feet up.
Atkins will pull up. They'll say that's a long 2.
That's the frustrating thing. You see a missed travel not being called and it ends up into a bucket. And when you look at the Indiana Fever's record, there have been 8 losses where they have been within 2 possessions going into the last minute.
That Erica Wheeler 3, Indiana's been pulled back within 1 here. Tolliver working the baseline. Laney tried to cut her off, and Tolliver will go to the line. Go back to that note you just made. 8 of Indiana's 12 losses this year. They've been within 2 possessions. in the final minute. And while that's frustrating, it's a good sign. It means you're in these games. It means you have a chance in these games. It means you can finish better. But from a Fever perspective, you're putting yourselves in a position to win almost every single night. You say you've played 20 games and the 6 wins plus those 8 close losses. You've been in a majority of these.
And most of those have been at home here, where the Indiana Fever have a terrible record at home. They are 2-7, 4 from 5 on the road. So right now they prefer to play away, but you've got to be able to protect your home court.
Laney will take a long 2. Laney now 1 of 4 from the floor in the first half. Some contact down low. Both McCowan and Niesemann went down hard, and they'll call McCowan on the loose ball foul.
You see Niesemann shaking that off herself, as we see as Tierra just extended her arm there, knocking Niesemann to the floor. Unfortunately, that's going to result now in 2 free throws down the other end.
Niesemann with 6 points. They all came in that first quarter. This has been a physical first half.
Shooting 2.
And the referees have done a really good job of keeping the game well called.
Niesemann 1 of 2 from the line. Washington, an uncharacteristic 4 of 7. A team that shoots it at 86%. It's at 57 as we near halftime.
Niesemann getting a hand on the ball there for deflection, taking the Fever out of their offense.
Johnson was open. That missed everything. And Mike Thibault will take a timeout. 9 seconds remaining here in this one. Well, we didn't want you to think you got away with anything. Let's take a look at FaceApp here. We talked about this a little bit earlier. The viral trend of putting some of these Fever players through the FaceApp. You saw this. And speaking of getting older, now, you look nothing like this, we promise, but we didn't want you to think you got away without a gift. So this comes from our entire crew here. So if you thought we were being rude and not wishing you happy birthday, we were simply wanting to wait to surprise you on air. But please see what we've gotten here for you. I think you'll find it an appropriate gift.
Oh my gosh, this is the best gift ever. I am totally out of Vegemite.
Australian's finest.
Oh my gosh, if I wasn't on camera, I'd rip it open right now and take a spoonful. This is like gold for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Happy birthday.
It's going on my toast first thing in the morning.
Vegemite, I think in your playing days, you maybe tried to get some of your teammates to try it.
I did, with mixed reactions.
Yeah.
Most of them not so good. I think they ran out looking for a bucket.
It's interesting.
I might have to get... Well, you've been to Australia.
I've
Did
tried
you
it
try
once. I didn't hate it, but I haven't bought it since. Well, I haven't bought it since until we got it for you. So.
Well, very much appreciated.
Tony Bevilacqua, who was celebrating with a cake here. Just before the half, Deladon got it away and couldn't get it to go. It'll take us through 2 here from the Fieldhouse. The Mystics holding on to a 4-point lead. Elena Deladon making her return after missing essentially her last 3 games, has 7 in the first half. More halftime coverage coming up in just a moment from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. We're at the half at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The Washington Mystics lead the Indiana Fever 41-37. Indiana outscoring Washington by 4 points in that second quarter. Indiana, all things considered, doing a pretty good job, I think, on the defensive end, controlling a couple of big weapons for the Mystics.
Well, they're doing a great job on the boards, and that's one of the areas that the Washington Mystics are relatively lacking in, is rebounding. And I think if they can just take care of Meesimum and what she brings when she comes onto the floor, they're doing a great job on Tolliver. She's only taken 2 shots, but she's given out 5 assists. But if they can keep her quiet, limit the touches of Deladon, they're right in this game.
No player for Washington is in double figures, but Emma Meesimum, she's in her second game since she came back from playing for Belgium overseas, and she was really electric early.
Well, she hasn't skipped a beat. She came in and straight away had a huge impact. So they'll have to make sure they're aware of where she is on the floor. But Erica Wheeler, like I said before, to me, she's the heart and soul of the team. She drives this team, and how she goes, the Fever goes.
Erica Wheeler, who will be an all-star in 2019. A look at your first half stats. The Mystics are shooting it just under 50% from the floor. They've gotten that three-point shot to go. That's been an area where the Fever have struggled the last couple of games.
Well, it's good recognition right now in this game not to settle for that three-point shot, because I'm sure teams now are seeing their percentages go down from beyond the arc, and they're like, well, we'll give them that shot, especially early on in the offense. So they're doing a good job of not settling.
Erica Wheeler got going, and I think if you're Pokey Chapman, you probably try to ride some of that momentum you got from Wheeler in this group on offense. They played much better in the second quarter on the offensive end. It's the league's top 2 ranked offenses. Fever trimmed that deficit down as close to 2 in that second quarter, but never got over the hump. They led briefly in the first. Here's Wheeler. She'll pull up a 3, and right on cue, Wheeler pulls Indiana within 1.
Wow, great read by Erica Wheeler. It was a great screen set by Dupree, and Tolliver went under that screen, which gave Erica Wheeler that open three-point shot. And in the game today, she is knocking them down.
And she's been one of the better three-point shooters in the league this year. So is Christy Tolliver. That was halfway down, and Indiana could take their first lead since the first quarter.
Tolliver doesn't need much of a look. As we see Erica Wheeler, she is feeling it. I did not think that was going to be a good shot for her to take, but whew.
Wheeler, one of those players that when she's in rhythm, you just let her go. She's had a couple of high 20-point performances this season. They tend to come on the road, though. It's good to see the Fever All-Star performing well at home. Washington goes right to Deladon, and she'll go right to the line.
That play there, creating a one-on-one situation for Deladon against Achonwa. And the Fever need to be aware of that play and load their defense over to provide help.
Natalie Achonwa feeling like she got all ball. That replay seemed to back her cause.
Yes.
And the problem is you send Deladon to the line, you send maybe the league's best ever free throw shooter to the line. She is 96% this season. She's had a year where she's been 96%.
And she nails both of those, but like you said, we have the benefit of the replay, and unfortunately, Nat was still charged with that foul.
Wheeler, can she do it again? This is a 2.
She's acknowledging that was a very early shot, probably not the right one to take.
Atkins going at Mitchell, leaves it off to Deladon, and scoop shot works.
Atkins able to get deep within the paint, and that's creating the Fever teammate having to help, which then opens up the open shot for Deladon. So players have to keep their opponent in front of them.
Candace Dupree struggling so far. 1 of 6 from the floor. She's got 2. Here's Tolliver tiptoeing the sideline, and Erica Wheeler called for a trip.
Erica Wheeler, she's a little frustrated on that call. I mean, to me on that replay, it didn't seem to be like Wheeler created the foul. It was Tolliver leaning into her.
Third quarters have been a problem for Indiana recently. They gave up a 21-3 run against Los Angeles on Friday, then succumbed to a 20-2 advantage in their loss to Connecticut on Sunday, and that's an offensive foul.
Well, great defense being played by Benaj Alani there. She's got the assignment right now on Christy Tolliver. She is trailing on those stagger screens.
Laney will launch a long two. This one off the mark. Tolliver.
Good contest there by Nat Achamwa. There's a big mismatch there, but Nat used her height to her advantage.
Candice Dupree found alone, and Candice Dupree won't miss from there.
That's like a layup for Candice right there. It's very rare for her to miss that elbow jumper.
Set up nicely by Laney, who got inside and forced the 3-on-2.
Good ball pressure being applied here by the Indiana Fever.
Deladon pounded. Here's Tolliver, connects.
She just needs an inch.
Christy Tolliver, by the way, entered the night 22 three-pointers shy of Tamika Catchings on the all-time list. Which, by the way, is such a testament to how good Tamika Catchings was, because she wasn't really a three-point shooter. She could do it, but that wasn't her game. Mitchell, that got deflected. Deladon, Achamwa trying to save it, and it's a shot clock violation. Or do they get a late foul in there?
I think the foul definitely helped out the Fever there because they were not in a good position.
Got Latoya Sanders on it, and it came simultaneous to that buzzer. It's why it was hard to hear in arena. So they're going to review if the foul came before the shot clock violation. That's Roy Gulbellion at the monitor. Isaac Barnett is to his left. Fatu Sissoko Stevens is the other. Now you're looking for a right arm coming up. And it's there, and it's close, but it looks like the arm starts going up before the 0 on the clock.
I must admit, I wasn't watching that part, but
it's the official down here in the right corner that you're watching.
Yep, number 42.
Now look when his hand goes up, and where is that shot clock? Now, oh, it's close.
Oh,
it's close.
That was neck and neck there.
The call on the floor seemed to be before that. And it will stand. I think if that's the ruling on the floor, it's probably one of those cases where whichever the ruling was.
Well, we are going to call the foul, and the Fever are going to go to line. Good recognition by Achamwa. She knew she didn't have time to gather herself. She had to collect that ball in one motion, throw the shot up.
You never know what a play like that at a close game might make a difference at the end. Indiana was dead to rights on that possession, and instead they will send Natalie Achamwa to the line. And I don't want to overlook this. She is shooting 91% from the free throw line this year, which is a career high for her.
Well, let's hope we haven't put the knocker on her. So many times that we talk about
it's how well
players and their free throw percentages and how well, and then they go and miss the next one, but not that time.
I promise I wasn't speaking loud enough for her to hear, but it didn't matter anyway. Deladon dips inside. She hangs, couldn't finish. Contested nicely by Dupree. Deladon got it back and a foul.
Great initial defense then by Dupree. Had Deladon ducking and weaving. As you can see, the up and under. But she followed her own shot there and got the and one.
Dupree gives up 3 inches to Deladon. This is a tough matchup, as it is for just about anybody in the league. I think you could make a case that Deladon in some ways is the toughest player in the league to defend, in that rarely she has a contested shot. She does such a good job with separation. She's so long, so tall, that even when you defend her well, it still seems like she's getting off a pretty good look.
Oh, most definitely. She's extremely hard to defend, and you can see the foul being called on the floor there by referee number 42, Roy. Now I'm going to have to ask you to pronounce.
Gulbellion.
I only knew him as Roy in the league. He's been in the league for many years now. One of our experienced referees. Pretty sure he called me for a technical foul once. So I have to remind him about that.
No Vegemite for Roy.
I couldn't have Vegemite for a week because it cost me.
Shot clock down to 4. Wheeler gets inside through the double team. Just had to heave it up. Did a nice job to get the rim and give Indiana a chance there. That's the 10th rebound already for Delle Donne, who has a double-double. Good ball movement. Tolliver gives it up. Delle Donne, the offensive rebound, her 11th board and her 16th point.
Well, if there's definitely a player that you want to find when a shot goes up to box out, it's Delle Donne. She is crashing hard. We talked about whether or not her face mask would impact her. Definitely not seeing any signs of that today.
Dupree spins her way through. Achonwa out to Laney. Laney pulls up, found some space, left it long. And a loose ball foul on the floor going against Washington. Elena Delle Donne, who had 7 points at the half, already has 9 here in the third quarter, and the Mystics are up by 6. The Fever had to feel like they did a pretty good job at Elena Delle Donne in the first half. 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting, and she's exploded here in the third quarter. Has 9 of Washington's 12. Already has a double-double. And one of the favorites, while it's still fairly early for the MVP, has looked the part here so far tonight. 16 points for Delle Donne. Washington, who had struggled on the glass, starting to inch their way back as Achonwa got inside. There's Delle Donne with a block. Well, that was perfectly run by Indiana. And they'll say Achonwa touched it last.
Well, the Fever have done a good job of coming out after timeouts and executing well. But Delle Donne there, she's getting it done on both sides of the floor. I'm not sure
how Achonwa touched that last.
I was waiting for the replay, but we unfortunately didn't get to see it. But Delle Donne has definitely come out very aggressive on both ends of the floor.
Atkins pulling up on Johnson. Left the shot from the foul line short. Fever are +6 on the glass, and that's allowed them to hang around here. They go back inside to Achonwa. This time, she gets the foul call.
Great post-to-post find there by Dupree to Achonwa. As we see there, Nat Riding, the first offender.
We'd like to send a congratulations to Pacers Gaming in the 2K League. Cody Parents Group were victorious tonight against Nets Gaming, and that win clinches a playoff berth in year number 2 for Cody Parents Group. They will head into what is an 18 playoff in a 21-team league. So no small accomplishment by any means for Pacers Gaming.
Natalie Achonwa very reliable from the free throw line.
Tolliver way outside. Wheeler opened up the second half with a pair of three-pointers for Indiana. Denise Johnson still looking to get going.
9 seconds on the shot clock. Again, Dupree finding Achonwa.
Dupree got the rebound. Tolliver wrestling forward with her. Shot clock resets to 14. Here's Johnson. That'll go.
And that has caused Mike Thibault to call a timeout.
After 6 quarters of struggling from the three-point line, Indiana didn't hit a single one on Sunday. They had just one at halftime. Erica Wheeler has opened up the floodgates. The Fever have hit 3 in the quarter. Indiana back within 1, and Shanice Johnson, who struggled Indiana's loss on Sunday. You leave her open. One of the top players in the league at knocking down the three-point shot throughout her career.
Mike Thibault could sense the momentum change, and the Fever was starting to get a flow on. As you see, Jessie Miller, they're happy with Shanice Johnson. She's been putting in the extra work, getting some extra shooting after practices.
The mental side to a comeback like Shanice is trying to overcome. And she's not the only one. A lot of players in this league have had to overcome a serious injury, but you would just imagine the mental side of trusting that leg is maybe as big of a hurdle as anything.
And given the time frame, it's been about a year and a half for Shanice to get back on court, so, you know, frustrating as a player. But she's looking a lot more comfortable out there now.
Mitchell going coast to coast. She hangs and couldn't get it to go. That would have given Indiana their first lead since the first quarter.
Good job getting back into transition defense, slowing Washington down.
Deladon puts on the moves. Dupree was right there with her every step of the way. This time she'll launch a three.
Good defense in. Every shot being contested.
Mitchell with a shot clock down to 7. Indiana trying to create something here late in the shot clock. Here's Wheeler, got by Cloud, leaves it off to Achanwa.
We've seen that a lot, though, with the penetration there by Erica Wheeler to Achanwa hanging out on the elbow, but unfortunately couldn't knock that one down.
All-Star going at All-Star. Good ball movement. Cloud tees up a three.
Great defensive rotation, and you see Jessie Miller on the sideline clapping. She's done a lot of work going through all the schemes, as has Christy Sides.
Oki Chapman wanting to initiate these sets earlier in the shot clock. It's in single digits again. Johnson going to work at Deladon. She lofts it up. It won't go. Got the rebound.
Probably unlucky not to get the foul there on that drive. Deladon creating some contact there.
Both teams going through a little bit of a dry spell here.
As you can see, Shanice Johnson out there having a little word to Roy. Felt like she was fouled on that drive.
Washington shooting at 42% for the evening. Remember, they were up near 50 at halftime, so Indiana's defense has tightened up. So far, Washington has maintained this lead. Miesemann charging hard.
She's trying again. Trying to get into that key wave.
Candice Dupree a bit off balance. She can go to the line here to tie this one up.
You say, great job by Shanice drawing the help, and easy call there for the referee as Candice Dupree is earning herself an extra bonus point here as Nellie Achanwa is getting a well-earned rest.
Dupree, who's been unprecedentedly errant from the foul line lately.
Fever have a chance to take the lead on this play.
Mitchell with a shot clock down to 3. She's got to go. Gets inside. Oh, she got in to a good position. Just couldn't finish the layup. Walker Kimbrough. McCowan battling for it. Mitchell tries to help. McCowan rescues it. That 1-point deficit has been tantalizing for Indiana. They've yet to get over it. Dupree by Miesemann to the rim, and there it is. Indiana with their first lead since the first quarter.
It was just a matter of time. You could feel the momentum building for the Indiana Fever. They've been doing a great job on the defensive end.
Candice Dupree now has 8 tonight. It'll be fun to watch her the rest of the way. If she can stay at her average of 12 points per game, she would catch Katie Smith for 5th all-time on the final game of the season. It's going to be that tight if she stays healthy.
Great 2-9 help there by Tiffany Mitchell on the baseline.
Maybe a little too unselfish from Tolliver. This time she'll take a contested 3 and knock it down.
You know, for most people, you would say that's a tough shot, but she makes more than she misses going to that left side.
Mitchell couldn't get it off in time. And so it's the Mystics who take a 2-point lead into the 4th. Erica Wheeler got the Fever started. Elena Deladon with 9 in the quarter. Christy Tolliver 3 and put the Washington Mystics back in front as we enter the fourth period here from the Fieldhouse. Washington has led for a majority of this one, but has never led by double digits.
And we talked during the break how we both thought that was a pretty good third quarter defensively by the Indiana Fever, although backdoor resulting in 2 points just then to start the fourth quarter for the Mystics.
That's Walker Kimbrough. Walker Kimbrough has 7. Dupree steps into a long 2. Johnson with a rebound. She's done a nice job on the glass tonight. Now working at Powers, and Johnson draws the foul.
And she's done a great job of trying to get herself in the paint, and she's creating all sorts of troubles right now for the defense. As you see, great backdoor cut. Kelsey Mitchell being caught then just overplaying.
Indiana still struggling from the field. They're 35% from there. Washington, who shoots at about 45%, as Mitchell will launch and hit.
Well, that's a rare mistake then by the defense from the Mystics. You could see 2 players not communicating. Both went with the 1 player, leaving a wide open Kelsey Mitchell.
See if Indiana can get Mitchell going here in the fourth. Miesemann leans in and gets the roll.
Such nice touch there around the basket.
You know, sometimes it can be tougher to scout international players. It's hard to believe she went 19th overall in the 2013 draft. Mitchell this time to the rim, threw that one up long. Ariel Powers got by Johnson and drew the foul from McCowan.
Powers doing a good job. There was no movement out there for the Mystics. And she took advantage of the one-on-one opportunity. And you can see definite Tierra there, just late coming over to help. A lot of body contact.
Mike Thibault riding with just 1 starter. Delle Donne, who's played 22 minutes. Atkins, Sanders, Cloud, all on the bench for the time being.
Before the game, I had a little chat with Mike Thibault, as I like to do whenever he comes into town. And, you know, I asked his thoughts. Well, give me some words about what you think of the Indiana Fever team. And he said they're a very fast, improving, talented young team. A lot of good things to say about the Fever.
Did you ask him for any tips on how to defend the Mystics?
No, he was very positive in his comments, and he knew that it was going to be a very tough game here against them because they are a battling side.
Miesemann found some space. Mitchell late to close out. Thibault's the winningest coach in WNBA history. He's going to coach the All-Star game. Oh, the Mystics are 9-6, but they've likely got a win coming as Johnson turns the corner, gets inside. Johnson lays it in. They had, I guess you would call it an earthquake out halfway through a game in Vegas, as this one's really picked up the pace. And there's Natasha Cloud. They led Vegas by 15 points at halftime, and then the earthquake happened out there, and they've yet to replay that game. So they're 9-6, not counting that game. And the way they played with Delle Donne on the floor, you really have to like their chances as the season continues if they can stay healthy. It's a big if.
Great minutes then by Shanice Johnson as she's taken a break. Kelsey Mitchell, Tierra McCowan, all going to the bench.
Wheeler back to Achanwa, got inside and drew the foul. Achanwa got by Miesemann, and a nice find by the Fever point guard. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure there's a player that I've seen in this league that is right place, right time more than Natalie Achanwa.
She's a very smart player, and that's one of her high percentage shots from that elbow. And if she doesn't have that, she has a great ability to get the defender off their feet with that shot fake.
When she's got it going like this from the free throw line, she becomes even more of a weapon. She's 5th in the league in field goal percentage. And I think maybe this has gone a bit overlooked. She's also had to deal with some adjustment. Here McCowan has come in, played some more minutes. This hasn't been the regular starting role that Achonwa saw last season. She's played some with McCowan, some without. McCowan has started 7 games, a handful of those in place of Achonwa.
That's right. Natalie had that injury where she missed a game.
Walker Kimbrough off to Miesemann. She left it short. Achonwa the rebound.
Good push here by Erica Wheeler.
Wheeler. Oh, got Hawkins off balance. Erica Wheeler with a lay-in.
Got it with the hesitation move then. Great change of pace as you see Tiffany Mitchell getting the deflection. Great transition defense then.
For Indiana, it'll all be about how this game finishes. But I think to this point, you've had to be impressed with their hustle, their defense. And at this point in the game, they seem to be clicking as well as they have all game tonight. It's coming at a perfect time as the Mystics lead back down to 1.
They're working hard there on defense. Great rotations.
Wheeler, who's tied her career high with 7 rebounds. Dupree.
You can hear the fans just willing that shot to go in. See if they can get another stop down on the defensive end. As you see Laney on a mismatch there with Deladon doing a great job.
Mitchell spins inside. Mitchell, the up and under, the foul, and Mitchell will go to the line.
What an acrobatic move then by Tiffany Mitchell.
And this athleticism has put the Fever in front with 5:39 left. Tiffany Mitchell with the biggest bucket so far for Indiana. The athleticism on this finish. She'll be going to the line. She makes a few of these plays each year, which just cause your jaw to drop. And with under 6 minutes to go, and what is now a 1-point game, perfectly timed for the Fever guard.
Well, they do call her buckets that time, and she's proving her name right there. You know, this group right now is really increased in energy defensively, offensively, causing Mike Thibault to call a few extra timeouts this quarter.
How about Indiana from the free throw line? We talked about how good Washington is from there. The Fever are 15 of 16. That's 94%.
Well, the coach has asked the Fever players to play harder, play for 40 minutes, and they're responding here tonight.
Deladon on Laney. The turnaround, and Laney maybe just took a bit too much of her space. Deladon will go to the line. You
see everybody look.
Reaction, I think, says it all.
And you see everybody looking up to the big screen, waiting for the replay.
So Deladon, a 96% free throw shooter, has 16 points, 12 rebounds. You foul her, and you essentially turn that into 2 points.
You know, Laney had done a great job defensively, but we've talked about just Deladon with her extra length, shooting with the ball high up. She's very hard to defend.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. In terms of her release points, it's about as high as anyone in the league, and you combine that with her height, her length. Deladon's on Wheeler.
Well, the Fever better overload. Great job, Erica Wheeler.
Now Wheeler's on Miesemann, and she poked it away. Well, how about that defensive possession from Erica Wheeler? She got switched on. 6'4" Emma Miesemann, 6'5" Elena Deladon, and held her own there. Even forced a deflection.
Well, at first it appeared she was left out on an island with Deladon there, but then the players all realized.
Now Mitchell comes up with a steal. Washington's turned it over just 5 times tonight. Laney going into Deladon. They'll say it's on the floor. It won't count.
Not going to call the continuation. And Pokey Chapman, she's right in front of us. Whoa, they've reversed their decision. Coach, you can stand up now.
I get to see Mike Thibault do the same. Foul is there. There's no dribble. That's continuation is the correct call. The dribble can disqualify you from continuation as Laney misses the free throw. But as long as it's in the motion of the play, continuation is supposed to be given. And they got that right there after coming to a consensus. Achonwa fighting down low with Sanders. Draws the jump ball. This will be 6'2" Latoya Sanders on 6'3" Natalie Achonwa.
You know, and that's what you want to see. Players diving on the floor, trying to get that loose ball. It's all those 50-50s that you want to come up with that can make a big difference at the end of the game.
Well, if you're Indiana and you're Pokey Chapman, this is what you've talked about. You put yourself in position to win a lot this year, and you haven't done it as much as you'd like to. One more win for the Fever would top last year's win total. To do it at 19th game of the season in a 34-game year would be no small task. Under 5 minutes to play, a 2-point lead. Indiana wins the tip. Oh, they're going to call Mitchell on a push-off.
That would have been a great play. But they've called Tiffany Mitchell for the foul, and it'll be interesting to see this on the replay.
Isaac Barnett has been all over the contact to the face, and he's who made this call there.
They've called the elbow, the contact from the elbow to Tolliver's face, which was... As you can see, Coach, she's not happy with that call. You can hear the fans agreeing with Pokey Chapman.
Shot clock down to 5. Cloud leaves it back. Here's an Atkins 3. That goes.
Well, that's a tough one right there to swallow. Like, you know, what could have been?
It's a 5-point swing.
5 point, yep.
Wheeler lost the handle. So how does Chapman's bunch regroup here?
Well, depending on what happens on this play, we could see a timeout being called if this goes in.
Good defense from Dupree. Deladon felt like she was hit.
Just need a good, steadying offensive play here. And who do you go to? But Natalie Achonwa on a pick and roll with Erica Wheeler.
14 points, 10 rebounds for Achonwa. Tolliver. Oh, she tried to scoop it into Mitchell. And Mitchell got fouled.
It's going to be called on Deladon on that play.
They catch Elena Deladon for reaching in. It was her third, and really a good play by Deladon because once again, Mitchell was off to the races.
As you see on that replay, great find by Erica Wheeler. But on that defensive play, the Fever did a great job of icing Tolliver.
And that's the 5th foul. So that actually will put Indiana into the penalty. So not a good foul by Deladon. They put Tiffany Mitchell, an 88% foul shooter, to the line. She's 2 of 2 from the line here tonight. Ill-timed miss there. The Fever saw a Candace Dupree miss free throw, give them a chance to tie the game a week and a half ago, late against Las Vegas.
Big defensive play coming up right here for the Indiana Fever. They can really put the pressure on if they get a stop and score a bucket down the other end.
9 of Deladon's 18 came in the third. Here's Cloud. Back for Atkins. She can shoot it from out there. That's off the mark.
And that's the player they would rather have taking that three-point shot. Not a Deladon, not a Christy Tolliver. Great defensive team effort.
Indiana going the way of their all-star. Fakes Deladon. Good double, but Atkins came over. They call it travel. Dupree felt like it was Atkins who came in, created the contact. Instead, it's a Fever turnover. Indiana in front by 2 with 2:27 left. Take a look now at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule on ESPN2. Tuesday, July 23rd, Seattle at Las Vegas. That's a 10 o'clock start. And then the All-Star game out in Las Vegas. You'll see Elena Deladon there, Christy Tolliver, along with Erica Wheeler. And, of course, Candice Dupree for Indiana. 2:20 left in this one. Washington's lost 3 in a row. Laney comes up with a steal. It's Laney, one-on-one. Going in at Atkins. She threw it up there too long, and Indiana with a missed opportunity.
That was a great chance there for the Indiana Fever to go 2 baskets ahead. Now they've got to dig deep here defensively. They've been doing a very good job in rotations.
Atkins tiptoeing the baseline. Got it deflected. Tiffany Mitchell. She'll get credit for that steal. Now Wheeler, who got the Fever kick-started in the third. She'll fire a 3. That won't go. Laney battling for it. Bodies collide. And a foul on the floor. We'll see who they got here.
That's going to be free throws for the Indiana Fever. Erica Wheeler probably didn't make the best decision on taking that 3-point shot against Elena Deladon, but great job by Laney getting in there for the offensive rebounds.
They'll send Laney to the line. Laney is a 50% free throw shooter coming into tonight. She's 0 for 1 tonight.
This all may come down to free throws, and if the Fever can consistently make these free throws in this last 1:40, they'll put themselves in a good position to finally finish a game at home.
2 really big ones there from Betnijah Laney. And the Fever have their first 2-possession lead of the night.
Great job, Erica Wheeler, not allowing Cloud to use those screens.
Now Deladon will fire and connects. The MVP with an answer. 21 points, 13 rebounds. Elena Deladon's pulled the Mystics back within 1.
Big-time players make big-time shots, and that was one right there.
Wheeler will step into a long 2 and bury it.
Well, it wasn't Deladon in her face that time, and it wasn't behind the 3-point line.
The All-Stars making their mark in the final 2 minutes at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Deladon, she's going for her 6th time, and the only year she didn't go was an Olympic year. And Erica Wheeler, she says, this is my first go-around. I can bury the big shots, too, and that's over Latoya Sanders.
Well, Sanders there, she was guarding the ball, but her hands were down, and that's what Erica Wheeler was watching. She used those couple of dribbles just to get herself balanced. It's probably a good timeout now for her to get her breath back.
Erica Wheeler really made an impact to start the third quarter with a couple of threes.
You know, and like I said before, I really believe she's the heart and soul. If she gets off to a good start, the Indiana Fever also seem to follow with her. The crowd become very vocal, too, in the background.
Cloud, back to Deladon. She's open and ties the game.
I'm lost for words right there, how 2 players went with Cloud and left the best player wide open. I know the coaches won't be happy with that one.
You could just see the look on your face. That is the look that only a coach can give.
Without a scouting report in front of me, I know the scouting report, and that is you do not leave Deladon.
I don't know the scouting report, and I know that aspect of the scouting report.
You know, you've done so much hard work. You know, and just, you know, that's what happens with great players. You could work so hard, but that one time you slip, they will punish you.
Deladon's such a great player. She punished Indiana on the possession before when the Fever had her defended perfectly. The way she's been playing, no guarantee that if the Fever have a player over there that she's missing anyway. But Pokey Chapman, Mike Thibault talking things over the final 48 seconds. And if you're Indiana, this kind of becomes a coach-by-coach decision. But if you can take a shot around the 30 to 34 second mark, you can try to play that 2-for-1. Where that becomes difficult is you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into only shooting in a small window and then, in turn, hurt this possession coming up. But a 2-for-1 opportunity nonetheless exists for Indiana if they want it.
It'll be interesting to see what play has been drawn up here, who they will go to. I'm sure it'll involve Erica Wheeler coming off a pick and roll. A big play right here.
Wheeler with 18 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. She's looked the part of all-star tonight.
Not the desired result right there, so now they've got to dig deep in defense.
Where else would Washington go but the trustworthy hands of Elena Delle Donne? Laney on the switch. Delle Donne in some trouble. She'll launch. That's way off target. And a shot clock violation is the call. Betnijah Laney, right after Indiana did not defend Delle Donne well, came up with maybe the biggest defensive stand of the night.
Well, what Betnijah Laney did so well there was she kept up right close to her, and then when she tried to go back to the left, Laney kept her on that right hand.
Chapman will take a timeout in part to draw something up here, but Erica Wheeler is, see Garrett Huber, the Fever trainer, talking with that all-star point guard. Wheeler turned it over on the last possession.
You
now
don't want to see that.
This could add a wrinkle into things if they don't have her for the final 15.6. And it looks like they won't, at least right now. So who steps in? Can they replace the impact that Wheeler has given the Fever tonight? You know how tough Erica Wheeler is. If she can be in this possession, she would be there.
She would not come out. If she could be out there on one leg, you know she'd want to be, but you can see the replay right here. She just tripped over. Let's see. Like a delayed reaction there on that. Well, Shanice Johnson has come in for this last 15.6 seconds.
Into Dupree, immediately attacking Delle Donne. Here's Johnson. She'll launch. And Indiana has the lead.
They got the hammer play on the backside there. A well-executed, well-drawn-up play. They've practiced this for this very moment.
And you love that there from Shanice Johnson. She makes the three. Everybody comes to celebrate. She points at the clock. There's still 11 seconds to go. We have a job to do. And Shanice Johnson, who checks right in for Erica Wheeler, puts Indiana up by 2.
Well, I have to credit the coaches on the decision to put Shanice out there. Shanice is someone that is not scared to have the ball in her hands to take that last shot or try and make that play at the end of a game.
This is a bit gutsy, too, if you're Indiana, to take the shot then. So often, you'll see coaches say, I'm going to take the shot out about 3, and we're either going to win the game or go to overtime. You miss a shot like that, and you give Washington 11 seconds. But what playing that quickly does for you is it allows you to get a better look than if you were trying to dribble the shot clock out.
Well, you couldn't get a better shot than that. And now, like you said, they've got to defend the three-point shot, especially knowing where Elena Delle Donne is, knowing where Kristi Tolliver is. My guess is I'll try and look to go on a one-on-one isolation with Delle Donne right here.
And you saw that foot on the line for Johnson, so it is a 2. So a 3 does get you beat here. Mr. Miller out there asking for a review. We got a pretty good look. And that was called correctly on the floor. Deladon to inbound. Deladon, the step back. She ties it. Cold-blooded Elena Deladon has hit big shot after big shot for the Mystics.
Like I said, big-time player, big-time shot. Going to that left side that she prefers to drive on into a step back. Great separation there on that step back. Makes it very hard to contest that shot when she separates so much from the defender. That mask is not affecting her one bit tonight.
Totally, we've been treated to a phenomenal basketball game.
Oh my gosh. You know, every night you just hope for a great spectacle of basketball, and the fans, not only just here in the arena, but watching on TV, are getting that right now. What a phenomenal game.
Washington is out of timeout, so the Fever could look to shoot a little bit earlier and have a second chance at this one, just under 6 seconds left. Where will Indiana go to try to get their 7th win?
4 seconds on the clock.
Johnson on the move. She's got to get rid of it. Lost the handle. That'll take us to overtime. Kristi Toliver got in there and got a piece. And the 11th year pro out of Maryland comes up with the biggest defensive play of the night so far.
Well, that's unfortunate that the Fever couldn't get a shot up at the basket on that last play.
5 more minutes on the clock. We'll keep going from the Fieldhouse next. 2 buckets in the final 11 seconds of the 4th quarter tonight. 40 minutes have not been enough to decide this one. What a remarkable performance for Deladon, who's coming off missing essentially 3 games with a fractured nose. Wearing that mask, 26 points, 13 rebounds, and Indiana just never got off a final look, which is frustrating. You miss that shot, you say, okay, let's beat them in overtime, but really frustrating to not get a look there at the end.
Well, the Fever put themselves in a good position to close that game out prior to the Deladon 3-point shot made earlier. But I mean, you know, you look at the halftime stats and you think, well, 7 points for Elena Deladon, you're doing a pretty good job. You look at the end of regular time, she's at 26. She just dominated that second half. But having said that, I thought the defense of the Fever overall was pretty good.
5 more minutes on the clock. This is Washington's first overtime game of the year. Indiana is 0-1 in overtime.
Delaney, she is chasing Toliver all over the court. A lot of pin downs, a lot of stagger screens.
Atkins with a shot clock down to 5. She's on the drive. The off-balance floater. Oh, it went in a foul. Looked like Indiana had Ariel Atkins defended well, and instead the second-year pro out of Texas will go to the line to try to put Washington up by 3.
Well, I'm not sure where the foul was on that, Pat. I mean, it was a tough shot. It was an off-balance shot. But to call the foul on that, that's a tough one. And
as
maybe,
the old phrase goes,
the ball don't lie. I'm hoping that's the one you're talking about.
It is the one I'm talking about. They look down low for Dupree, and Wheeler left that one plenty short. Indiana's 12th turnover tonight. Both teams have done a good job taking care of the ball. Oh, Kristi Toliver.
There was nothing else Laney could do. Her hand was right in Toliver's face then. She was right in front of us.
Wheeler steps back. Lost the handle on the release. Maybe caused it to come up short. Indiana, for all intents and purposes, has defended really well on those 2 possessions. Washington just continues to hit tough shots, and it's Toliver again.
If you're a Washington Mystics fan right now, you're ecstatic to see Toliver go off like that. Tough for the Fever fans right now.
Kristi Toliver has been the story in the extra session. She hit that nearly impossible 3 a moment ago, and this time, the fadeaway over Mitchell.
Showed us a little bit of fancy ball work there. It was Deladon in that last quarter. It is Tolliver in this overtime taking over.
And Elena Delle Donne had that one look where the Fever had miscommunication. Otherwise, really hitting some tough shots.
You know, and the Fever don't need to panic right now. They don't need to go out there and try and get it back from the three-point line.
There was that open three. This is Johnson that put the Fever in front by 2 with just under 11 seconds to play. And then Elena Delle Donne.
Great step-back play there by Delle Donne.
All right, so if you're Indiana, you've jumped out here into a 0-6 hole, but still 3:48 to go. Kelsey Mitchell has been inserted into the lineup.
Plenty of time left. They don't need to force a bad shot. You can see the Mystics doing a lot of switching there.
Tiffany Mitchell has a 3. That's a big shot from a guard who doesn't always take them from out there. Sawed the lead in half.
Again, Bernard Laney working hard on Tolliver.
Atkins, a corner. It got tipped around. Indiana, I think, touched it last. It'll stay with Washington. Atkins now 2 of 8 from the three-point line. Washington's made 11 threes to Indiana's 6. They look quickly underneath for Tolliver.
I know that play was worked on in their practices, so very disappointing to see them allow a score to be made.
Mitchell turned the corner. She looked unescorted to the rim. And a brilliant play to knock it off. And she was driving. And Washington arguing that that went off of her knee. 2:50 to go. You can't review that. Mitchell from the corner. Here's a 3. Oh, it didn't get the roll, but Achano with the putback.
Riley Achamo, the right place at the right time for that offensive rebounds. Bringing it back to a 1-basket deficit.
Backdoor pass to Tolliver. She found herself too far underneath. Washington has scored on every possession here in the overtime. Tolliver gets by Laney, gets inside, left it off to Sanders. On a second effort, it's Atkins. Laney attacking into Delle Donne and through the legs of Mitchell. Here's the good communication by Washington. Tolliver finding Sanders inside, and then Atkins fighting for position. This is that Washington offense, which ranks #1 in the league. They've been at their finest here when it's mattered most.
Extra effort there by Atkins to follow up on that miss. Washington can use a lot of the clock now on their possessions.
Delle Donne off balance. It doesn't matter. Elena Delle Donne has it going. She's got 28 tonight.
Washington making it hard for Indiana Fever.
Laney off the mark on a quarter 3. Washington with 12 points already in less than 4 overtime minutes. They've yet to have an empty trip on an offensive possession. Delle Donne looking for 30. Laney with a rebound, and Indiana has to push. It's a 3-possession game, and Indiana needs all the possessions they can get here with 58 seconds left.
Like you said, they've got to get that rebound, and they have to attack. They don't have any time to set up any plays. It's transition.
Mitchell, the pull-up jump shot. And it rolls in for Mitchell. It's a 5-point game.
And they're going to use up the clock again here.
So Indiana will elect to foul. That's the first foul under 2 minutes. So Pokey Chapman just trying to get themselves in a position where if they need to foul, they can. And send Washington to the line. Wow. Tiptoeing the baseline. Atkins. She'll attack, leave it back for an open Sanders, and Sanders doesn't miss from there. Mitchell, a pull-up three. Indiana in desperation mode now. Deladon pulls it down. Indiana will likely have to resort to the foul game, or they will just have to let this one tick away. The Mystics go 7 of 10 from the floor in the extra session. It's a 14-point, 5-minute overtime, and the league's top offense shines its brightest when it matters most. Elena Deladon, when moments were looking tenuous for Washington, kept the Mystics alive. Our shot with under 6 seconds to go.